Hi, I'm Jeff Dial. Welcome to another edition of Footprints in American History. Today we're going to talk about Henry Ford and his quadricycle. Now, most of you know that Henry Ford had a lot to do with the assembly line for cars. Now, he was definitely a pioneer in the issue of creating vehicles as far as being able to make them mass produced. Now, the quadricycle, the reason that this is a big part was because this was where he really began his exploration of learning how to create cars, what eventually became the modern automobile. Now, at the time that, well, let's back up real quick. 1876 is really where a lot of this obsession began. One day he's looking out and he sees a steam-powered vehicle just chugging along this road, and it just captivated him. He really thought about this. He never forgot it. Fast forward to 1895 when he was reading a magazine article about gas-powered engines. This fascinated him, and he really wanted to do something. Now, he had a friend named Charles King, and he had built a wooden vehicle, had four cylinders, a four-cylinder engine, and was able to go up to 5 miles an hour. Seeing this from his friend Charles King really fueled that desire. He wanted to be able to do something about this. Well, he was the chief engineer for the main plant at Edison Illuminating Company, and his job was to basically make sure that Detroit had electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, this was also owned by Thomas Edison, who in the future became his friend, especially when he saw the efforts that Ford was making toward building an automobile and being able to mass produce it. And actually, he encouraged him in this. Well, with a little bit of help from his friend King, he ended up building a light metal 2-cylinder 4-horsepower engine. And at 4 a.m. on June 4th, 1896, he actually had the vehicle ready. Now, besides the 2-cylinder 4-horsepower engine, it had a light metal frame, had 4 bicycle wheels, and had a buggy as a buggy seat. Now, this vehicle had no steering wheel, no brakes, and no reverse. It did have kind of a rudimentary steering system, so he was able to steer a little bit. Now, when he was ready to do this at 4 a.m. on June 4th, 1896, his friend had joined him. This was another friend who had helped him out, and what happened was he went ahead of him when they were going to do the test drive. Now, the problem first, though, was that they had it in the shed that he had built. Well, what happened was they tried to get out of the shed. Unfortunately, the vehicle's too wide to get out of the shed. So Henry Ford grabs an axe, and this is a brick shed, and he just whipped away and knocked over part of this brick wall for the shed so that they could get it out. So they get it out onto the street. His friend that was also with him, this was a different friend, had run ahead of him just to clear out any areas of pedestrians or any carriages going by, and he wanted to make sure this horseless carriage was able to get a good test drive. He went across 3 major thoroughfares in Detroit, and as he did, he worked it out. Now, they had a faulty spring, so they had 1 breakdown, but other than that, it was a successful test drive. In the end, Thomas Edison encouraged him more, and he sold it for $200 later that year so that he could build a second vehicle. However, once he got the assembly line and he got his plant built and he got the vehicles being able to run, he ended up buying it back for $65. This ended up leading to mass production of vehicles after these first test vehicles. In the end, Henry Ford became one of the most successful people in American history. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please like and share the video. I hope that you'll also subscribe to the channel, ring the bell if you want notifications of future videos. Also, I have a new channel called Just a Bit Outside. I will put the link to that down below in the description. And in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, fair winds, and following seas.